If you could tell us about the panel which you were there yesterday and what would be the takeaways?
Yeah, so we've really interesting sessions today on European case studies on sustainable and smart cities, which we were a part of along with Basildon County Council, which is joining us as part of a UK coalition to support Aluva municipality in Kerala to create a more sustainable city for the future.
All right. If you could tell us a little more about the Aluva municipality project.
Absolutely. So we've been working with parliaments around India for many years on something called Connecting the Dots, which was about a climate change program. It was to work with parliaments, highlighting the dangers of climate change, ways in which they could mitigate at a local level. And what that led to was a project with Aluva municipality to create a master plan for the future of the city, which would reflect the dangers that climate change poses to that city. And the result of that, working with Atkins, which is a UK consultancy, architectural consultancy, and INTBAU, which is the Prince of Wales's a network of architects who look to protect the intellectual, cultural integrity of a city, of a place, the architectural integrity. We've created a new master plan which looks at what can be done within Aluva to make it a nicer city, for its citizens, but at the same time tackle the challenges of population, of urbanization in India, the growing needs of much more sophisticated citizens, and at the same time the impacts of climate change. So in 2012, Aluva faced a huge flood, so the very famous Shiva Mandir was completely flooded. So how can we prevent that from happening again? So this master plan has real deliverables. It identifies a number of projects which the Aluva municipality needs to focus on in order to make Aluva a much more sustainable city. And the next stage for us now is to move towards implementation of that project.
So this would be an additional fund apart from the existing 6,000 crore fund from the Government of India, because that is the only fund allocated for smart cities as of now.
Now the idea is that where the funding comes from is something obviously the municipality needs to take forward with the central government, whether that comes out of funding specifically for smart cities or whether that comes out of funding for urban development, from either state government, central government, ADB funds, for example, is a question that we're now starting to ask. We now have a master plan which is almost complete. We have Basildon County Council, which has said that it will work with Aluva municipality in delivering the project, and we will continue to work with Aluva municipality trying to find the funding from a variety of sources, which we would think would be private sector and public sector.
All right. Well, above 2 billion is our population, more than 30 million strays in the street, and a complete different set of challenges we have here. So how do you think we would be, aspiring the European concept or the model, because that is the Indian landscape is a different ballgame.
Very much so. One of the key principles of this project is it has to remain an Indian project. It has to, European models just simply will not work in India, nor should they. You still want your cities to be India, So finding ways where you can learn from the lessons that we've learn from our experience, but equally and bypass some of the problems that we have made, because we've had lots of challenges, we've made mistakes. Bypassing those so that India can move much more quickly down the line towards sustainable cities is one of the big challenges. So what Aluva does is give us the potential to identify, to put into practice a project very, very quickly on the basis of the master plan, which is virtually complete, and start testing some of those theories in reality.
Right. Well, that's very interesting. You spoke about bypassing the challenges. If you could refer to some challenges and how they can be bypassed in India. Are you also referring to the marginalized communities and physically challenged communities?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're hugely active in India as a country. One of the biggest challenges is raising the number of people who are currently still in poverty. increasing that number. We want to see a vibrant, developed India which reaches its full economic potential for the benefit of all of its citizens. So finding ways in which cities can deliver for all of the people of the cities is absolutely at the heart of the project. But those are, as you say, different challenges to the ones that we face in Europe. But we've made lots of mistakes with infrastructure projects. We've made mistakes in terms of how we've tried to future-proof some of our cities. Some of this is about doing it, and then you learn things as you move forward. But what we want to do is to help India move through that process much faster by learning from the mistakes that we have made.
Right. What would be the consideration of security in India? Because when we have President Obama, we had 500 snipers. Here, the security is a big concern. So I'm sure security is an integral part of smart cities.
It is. I mean, security is a global concern. We, like India and America and other countries, have had, our own tragic experiences with terrorism. So these are not specific to India, but absolutely. So one of the challenges for India is creating cities which are safe and secure, not just when foreign visitors come, but actually for people. So that's around providing safe lighting, trying to discourage no-go areas. So we have experience in the UK where the east of London, which was relatively underdeveloped, has seen great investment, partly through the Olympics, and is becoming a shining example of what future cities could look like. So making sure that these cities are safe, secure, sustainable, energy efficient, these are all big challenges for the future.
Right, you spoke about UK, so UK being the most surveillance country, or in fact the city of the world. Do you think we have such kind of revenues? Because here, when we have foreign delegation, it's only then that we have CCTV cameras, and after that it's taken off. So the irony and the dichotomy we are facing, what would be the solution for it?
The CCTV is one of a variety of options. So it may not be that you need CCTV everywhere, and obviously that raises concerns as well with, for other reasons when we talk about human liberty. I mean, I think the answer is that the resources are here. The biggest resource that India has is a human resource. And one of the massive opportunities for India, and that's not just around smart cities, it's around as India as a whole, is the ability to apply that know-how, that creativity, that ability to innovate, to find more value for money solutions, not just for India, for the world. It's one of the reasons why UK universities, UK medical institutions are in partnership with India, because increasingly we have as much to learn from India as India has to learn from us. So finding the best ways of unlocking that potential, and maybe finding new ways of improving security within your cities, which don't require going down that traditional path.
Great. Anything else you would like to add?
No, just congratulations, I think, to the organisers. It's a great thing to do. Smart cities we've been working on sustainable cities for a long, long time, and smart cities as a buzzword obviously has a huge amount of relevance and importance in India today, but it means so many things to so many different people. So it's great to see an expo which tries to bring that together, to come out with a shared understanding of the challenges and of where the solutions lies. And we, the UK, are very happy to be a big part of that. We're not just working in Aluva, we're working in Madurai, we're working in Calcutta, we're working in cities across India with municipal authorities, and the big challenge is to make it real, is the implementation. That coming out with great designs for future cities is not necessarily the big challenge. The big challenge is turning those into reality in a way that citizens feel that they are proud of the environment in which they live.
Right. As you spoke about all these different cities, absolutely different from one another, what are the three challenges you are facing, if you have to name three?
The first one, I think, is not necessarily a challenge, but I think where our projects have been most successful, the principles which have applied is, one, very, very strong support from local government, and that's very strong support at municipality level. So in Aluva, we've had a municipality which has learnt the challenges of climate change and wanted to do something about it, and has worked with us. But also the support of local government and the state government in Kerala. That's been absolutely vital. The second one is to be very consultative. So one of the key elements of the project that we've done in Aluva is we haven't just worked with government and the planners. We've consulted the citizenry, we've consulted the people, the inhabitants of Aluva, and said what's important to you. And that's really important in order to get that wider coalition going. So the people, the citizens, the taxpayers have to believe in the project and be able to express what they think needs to happen, and the private sector. So you need business to buy into this. So we've been talking to local banks, local businesses, manufacturing in Aluva to see what it is they want to do, the local metro, to make sure it's all integrated. So there's that whole, it's a very time intensive and resource intensive process to consult, but it's vital. Otherwise you end up with a plan which is never going to get realized. And I think the third one, which is funding. It's funding is a challenge because a lot of the things that the money needs to be spent they're the big ticket items. When you're talking about things like solid waste management, we're talking about thousands of crores. So finding a way in which to prioritize those, finding out who your constituency is, and then bidding for those in the right order for the right reasons, that's a big challenge, and that's a challenge we are now grappling with. We're hugely optimistic. We've dealt with the first two challenges. It's now the third challenge, which is we're dealing with. But we're hugely optimistic because it's a project that makes sense.
Absolutely great. Very, the 3 points you gave was absolutely relevant. Thank you so much for your time. Pleasure
Nice
to meet
you.
you.